There are three things you can do to help us out.
1, you can make sure you subscribe to this channel.
2 is you can leave a comment here or on Apple Podcasts.
And 3, if you really want to help, you can follow this link to see how you could be a supporter on Patreon.
Word in Your Attic, a Zoom with a view.
Welcome to another edition of Word in Your Attic, where we're joined by the musician, photographer, and how fondly I remember this, the co-creator of the most efficacious medicinal compound that was the saviour of the human race. Possibly time to remarket it. Fantastic to see you, Mike McCartney.
I swear.
You got a bottle there.
You got a bottle of it there.
Now, he bought it up. I didn't buy it up or bought it up or bit it up. This is actually a bottle of the original medicinal compound.
That's brilliant.
Lydia Pinkham, vegetable compound. My goodness.
That's where the expression came from. There really was a bottle. That's amazing.
There was a lady called Lydia Pinkham who made a fortune by making this stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Cousin Keith McCartney sent this from America. It's the real thing. And once we had Martha Reeves round our house, as I'm sure you boys will have had her around your house.
Many times, I can hardly get rid of her, actually.
Exactly. And she was in the kitchen here, showing our family how to dance. And they kept going to go, oh, Lily, the pink. And Martha took me to one side. She said, Mike, this Lily the Pink, it's not so familiar to me. I said, oh, it's Lily the Pink. It's actually based on a medicinal compound from America. I've got to show you this bottle. Took her into my den in the back and said, look at that, Martha. It's the original. This Lydia E. Pinkham was, it's called Lily the Pink. Scaffold, my comedy group, had a big #1 hit. She looked at the bottle. She said, my God. I said, sorry? She said, we used to take that in Detroit. Because it's got it. So I think there's alcohol in it.
You're
You're very happy.
Yes.
And she and her family used to take medicinal compound in Detroit.
That's fantastic.
That's why they have all those amazing stuff from that stable there.
That's brilliant. So, Mike, where are you? You're in the Wirral, right? Is that where you're?
I'm in the Wirral. I'm part of the Wirral in a place called the Wirral. Out of my window that I'm looking at now, talking to you, there's some fields with horses in them. Goes down to the River Dee, and then the top of Wales. That is the top of Welsh Wales over there. So that's where I am.
Brilliant. Well, we should take you back to the very earliest memories of kind of family life, really, and record playing equipment at home. Where was this speak? Yeah, go on.
Oh, good grief!
I have been doing some work for you boys.
Brilliant.
All right. I was thinking all these boring people just sitting there talking about how bloody wonderful they are. How boring is that? I thought to myself, I could be more boring than that. And so I went to my archives. That's the school book, the Liverpool Institute High School for Boys, or in other words, the INI. And this is from the Liverpool Institute, Exhibition of Works and Hobbies. This one here in Lily the Pink paper.
Brilliant.
Oh, wow. So what year is that?
Are you in that?
This is 1900 and frozen to death, as my father would say. But actually, as you can see, it's 1961.
Yeah.
And here on the back page is the first play that I was in, Dylan Thomas's, seeing as we're talking about Wales, The Return Journey. And there's me on the bottom as P.M. McCartney. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Right.
As the park keeper, I used to climb the reservoir railings and pelt the swans. These are lines that I can remember to this day. What's even funnier, though, you'll see underneath it, I don't know whether you can see that underneath, P.G. Sissons. Can you make him out?
Oh, is that
Yes.
Peter Sissons, the newsreader?
Thank you. The infamous, the world famous newsreader, and why he appertains to my life is in the Liverpool Institute of High School for Boys. There were 2 yards, the upper and the lower yard, and I'd made it up into the upper yard. Down below was a prefect. He was actually a pro prefect. I didn't know. His name was Peter Sissons. He's just an object to be got. So got the, the lunch bag, brown paper bag. I'd already eaten the lunch. And so, right, there's the objective, there's the target. Go to the school thingy, where you put your water, drink your water underneath that bit. Hold the paper bag over till it fills. You've got to be quick on this. Paper bags do not hold water for long. Get hold of the paper bag full of water and ready. Splat all over Peter Sissons.
I wonder if he remembers this. I'm sure he does.
He did.
A life-changing moment.
There it was. I brought it up to him. I said, the most important thing is, how did you know? Because I lobbed it and hid. He came up to the upper yard near the fountain and got me his hand on my shoulder immediately. McCartney to the headmaster, J.R. Edwards.
Wow.
Good Lord.
He knew it was me.
What was the punishment? Can you remember?
Yeah, could I remember? Are you joking? In those days, it was bestial time. The normal thing, you had canes. I wish I had one.
You thrashed to within an inch of your life.
And that's what you do.
Yeah.
And the canes lessened in thickness. Big, thick one to the thin ones. The thin ones you don't want. And he'd bend you over and whack you. Then you go to the bogs and have a look in the mirror, just to have a look at the wheels on your bum, just in case you were bleeding. This is normal. Was normal practice. Hedonist practice in those days. Unbelievable, isn't it?
Well, gosh, yeah, character building stuff. Well, what about the music? Can you remember life and your earliest memories? Would that be Speak? Where would it have been before you got to Forthlin Road?
No, God, my earliest memories would be 72 Western Avenue. I don't remember much of Sir Thomas White Gardens. That was city centre.
Yeah.
Mum was a nurse, and then a sister, and then a midwife. And so she always had a nice house, and she wanted to better herself and her family. So she took this job in Speak, you're right, not far from Speak Hall. And it was a midwife job. And I remember going to school. So I would have been 4 or 5 years of age.
Yeah.
Going into the Stockton Wood Road School, which is now knocked down. Thank God I took the photographs before it was knocked down. But that's all gone. But I remember Mum taking me there. And right, here you are, darling. And she was a nurse, got a nurse out, midwife costume on, takes little baby to school. Our kid was there in some other class, but I'm the little one. To get in, I remember the lying down. You'd lay down when you were babies on the bed, a little bed, I think. And I remember the grey blanket with the red piping on it. There's a baby there. But before that, I got to that. It was Mum, there you are. This is Michael. His name's Peter Michael McCartney, but we call him Michael because his brother was called James Paul, and we call him Paul. And we're fair people, so we had to do the same to him. Anyway, this is Michael, and bye. And so, what do you mean, bye? And I remember distinctly following her out. Where are you going? She gets outside, and I remember the bars on the school fence. You know, those big bars.
Yeah.
And like, Mum, where are you going? Don't leave. No, it's okay, son. She got further and further away. No, don't worry. I'll be back in a minute. Then, and all she was doing was going around the corner to our house in 72 Western Avenue. The school was that near.
Yeah.
And so that's one of my first memories.
Can you remember your dad? Your dad was in the Jim Mack's big jazz band, wasn't he?
Jim Mack's band. It was called.
Yeah.
It was a jazz band. He only took his trumpet, his cornet, on gigs, which he didn't call them then, to these band places, halls, anywhere. If they didn't have a piano,
Yeah.
his chosen instrument was the piano. And so if they didn't have a piano, get his trumpet out and be Jim Mack's band.
But there were big.
So you had a piano at home, presumably.
Yes,
you?
but I'm going to bring these things up.
Right,
yeah,
go
nice.
on. Yeah, go on. What?
This is actually in my book, the first, Mike McCartney's early Liverpool Genesis book. This is the very first thing you see. This is the actual one, not from a book. This is the actual drawing I did in our bedroom. This is in Forthlin Road. So I just thought I'd bring that in.
Lovely. That's
So
great.
what year was that then? Was that painted?
Well, that'll be very early, when I was 12. No, it'll be later, because there's a guitar there, and the guitar only came in when Mum died. So I was 12 when Mum died. Born in 44. You work it out. So
Right.
But there were big evenings there, weren't there? Your brothers often talked about that. People, Auntie Gin and everybody around the piano, the upright piano, all singing songs. Can you remember what music was being played?
That would be, well, no, just music of the time. Everything that, like today, if anybody, that's the sad thing, isn't it? How many parties do you go to, unless you're old? The kids of today, how many parties do they go to and sing along? And maybe a guitar, maybe they take out a guitar like in Ireland, and they just have the crack, maybe that. But all that lovely old days of where you all sit around the piano or someone gets a guitar. It was always the piano, and they always put Dad on it. And with his pints, half pints, didn't want to put 2 pits. So it's half of beer on the top. And he'd just play all night. He'd go to, what did he play in the cinema? He used to play in black and white, the old movie cinemas in Liverpool. And he used, I always remember this, there was a big chariot race, you know. And so, but he had to play the piano to accompany, there weren't sound then, it was movies, silent movies.
Yeah.
This big screen, black and white, with these big chariots going round. And he thought to himself, what do I play for this? And he got his little piano and went, here comes the buggy ride, the buggy ride, the buggy ride. Here comes the buggy ride. I always remember that.
Can you remember the first single you bought, the first record you bought?
The first single I bought, I don't think I do. I remember Bo Diddley, but that is more associated with the Casbah. I'm just trying to think of the first record I actually bought. I don't remember, I've got to be very honest, getting me pocket money and going into town where you would. And in those days, North End music stores was where you'd buy it. And I don't actually remember going in and buying. Isn't this terrible? What a terrible letdown for you.
No, not at all.
No, I can hear you crying now. He can't even remember his first record. How pitiful. Oh, in that case, I'll show you where I went after these buying my first record.
Yeah.
I went to a place called the Hope Hall. And this, look at this, look what I found for you.
What's this?
All right. And this is down in the basement. Satire is taking
Oh, right.
the stage, okay? And this is the Liverpool Daily Post, June 13, 1963, down in the basement. And this guy, it's called Day to Day on Merseyside. And this man or woman has been down there, and she slipped into a basement where all this thing was going on and it's something called the Machine Event. Okay, because that's how I got into showbiz, from being a barber in ladies' hairdressers called Andre Bernard's. Mike Weinblatt, who's a hairdresser, took me down to this place. And I watched it and slowly got involved. And this is the report on it. Tonight, the same club, John Gorman, 27-year-old
Right.
27-year-old post office engineer, and his friend Adrian Henry, an artist who exhibited at the Walker Art Gallery, 24-year-old teacher Roger McGough, and the youngster
Excellent.
Michael McCartney, who's 19 years old, and we'll have a go with the second event.
Did you have a name? This is obviously pre-Scaffold, isn't it? But did you have a name?
We were originally when I went from Andre Bernard to hairdressers to this place called Hope Hall, which is now the Everyman Theatre, and joined these insane people. We were collectively, it was Scaffold, John, Roger, Mike, Adrian Henry, Celia Morton, my girlfriend, and Jenny Beattie. And we were collectively called the Liverpool One Fat Lady Non-Electric Show. That's what we were called. And I've printed this recently. And I did an article, and they took out the Liverpool One Fat Lady Non-Electric Show. And I said, I'm interested in why you did that. Is it because you think I'm a fattest and I have put one fat lady in here and you don't like the controversy? And they said, I said, do you know that one fat lady is bingo terminology?
Bingo, exactly.
Yeah. And so they didn't. These are young people that never heard of it.
Yeah. And
so that's what we were originally called.
What did you do in that act? What was your role in that stage show?
That one was they said, would you like to? I just sat there every week watching these people reading scripts. They would read these scripts and do little sketches and events and happenings.
What about the first?
When did you start?
Go on.
Go on.
No, I was going to ask about the first groups that you saw in Liverpool, because can you remember that? Did you see, the big three and, the pacemakers and all those people? I mean, do you remember early performances by those people?
Of course, because I used to go around with our kid everywhere with my camera. And so they were just on the bill. Obviously, our group was the best. But you'd have all these other groups on the thing. And there were some great. The Mersey Beats were great. The Foremost, they were called the 4Js. They became the Foremost. And they were more like Scaffold, because they did comedy. They were great. They're a musical Scaffold, like the Bonzos, But and another one that I loved at that time, King Size Taylor and the Dominoes.
Yeah.
He looked like a bloody big Cliff Richard.
Yeah.
His voice was powerful. And so I saw all the groups.
When did you first see your bros group then? Because there's a lovely picture that you took, I think at Dinus Road, of your cousin Ian's wedding. Famous picture of the three of them.
Dinus Lane.
Dinus Lane.
All in my new book that I am just going to look at that. This is a Genesis book, okay?
Yeah.
Now, first of all, if I was to drop this on my foot, I would break the toes, right?
Yeah.
This, look at this lovely cloth thingy. This is the one before John, Paul, George, and Dennis. Yeah. Right? This is called George's Back. And you can see it's George's back. It's so George, that sticky out ears like that. And there's Johnny singing, there's our kid singing. This is the one I took before this one, the one you're talking about.
It's sweet. George is not quite full grown, is he? I mean, I guess he would have been about, 15 or something, would he, in that picture?
Well, if he's 15, I'm 14. I was younger than him.
Yeah.
In our school, that boy at the back with the ruddy cheeks, I said to our kid, I think it's shaving rash, Johnny at the back, and he said, I was pissed. So there in our school, the boy at the back was in the art college next door, Johnny Moondog. He was in the art college, and he didn't speak to our kid because he was a schoolboy. Our kid in the Liverpool Institute High School for Boys, our kid didn't speak to George because he was in the form below him. George didn't speak to me because I was in the form below.
How complicated childhood is.
I didn't speak to Bill Kenwright. Bill Kenwright was in the form below me. Bill didn't speak to Derek Hatton, who nearly bankrupted Liverpool, because he was below him. That was the hierarchical system of the.
Hey, I've got one of your pictures in front of me here. Another heavyweight volume, which is the picture on the front of Paul McCartney, the lyrics. When you took these pictures, what were you thinking of at the time? Were you thinking of they might get published somewhere, or just keeping them, or just doing them for your own amusement, or what?
No, exactly the same thing as my brother. All we did was do what we liked and loved. I got into loving photography, and my brother got into loving music. And so all we did was do what we loved. Could have turned that around a bit. That's it. And so I slowly got into photography and started to take photos. He slowly got into music and got more and more adventurous, brought his mates round, etc. So it was very much no idea that any of these, I didn't know that these photographs.
But did you know you were keeping it? You know, because there must be a long periods of time when you thought, well, there's just a bunch of pictures I took in the early 60s or whatever, and then they re-emerge years later. You always hung on to them, clearly. My first thing my wife, Rowena, will tell you, he's a hoarder. And so I collect things because I like them. I like the memories of them, etc. And luckily, you just saw two first Beatle ones. I think that was before Ringo. That was Pete Best's time. And so all you do is do life. And the way life is planned out for you, you go along with it. And so that's all there is. So I'll show you my next one.
Yeah, come on.
Right,
the Traverse Theatre, right?
Right.
We go from Scaffold. There was a TV people that came to see us. And so we, will you come on telly? And we went on a telly show called Gazette I was trying to find that. It is somewhere. And we went on a telly show. And all they did, look, there's too many groups coming out of Liverpool. Can you do something different, please? So we said, we do little sketches. And we did improvisation sketches on telly. And we all, from the post office engineer, teacher, and a lady's barber, for it's a couple of weeks telly, we all jacked in our jobs to go on the telly. And suddenly that was but you've got to learn your...
What, you thought it was all going to automatically take off because you were on telly?
Yeah, because then being on telly isn't like being on telly now, where everyone's on telly.
It's not.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah.
There was only one.
Well, you were right. I mean, it did, didn't it? It launched it.
Yeah, then ITV, it was called ABC in those days. It was that important.
Yeah.
But you have to learn your trade. So we had to learn our trade, went up to the Edinburgh Festival, the Fringe there. And this is a program from the Traverse Theatre Club, 14th of September, I don't know what year. But that's where we learned.
Nothing is sacred.
What's your proudest moment in Scaffold's recording career? Because you had some very big hits, didn't you?
Recording career? Oh, to me, pride. I suppose getting to number one is good, isn't it? It's but my pride was the "Thank You Very Much" song that I wrote,
right,
for Scaffold, to thank people for coming to the theatre, etc., and keeping the seats warm and putting bums on seats. So that to me was a personal favourite, because it was, when you write it. Do you know how I wrote that, by the way?
Go on.
Thank you very much. Okay, yeah, all right, I'm sort of giving it away. Anyway, our kid I've been into photography, as you know, and our kid sent this wonderful Nikon camera up, the Rolls Royce of cameras, a Nikon, beautiful Nikon F it was called, and it came up here, and I unwrapped. Wow, oh Nikon, wow! Rang him down in London, in central London, and so there you are, brr, 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 and it kept on ringing, and I was thinking, any second, I'm getting bored with this. I'm just going to put it down. And always when our kid answered the phone, it'd be silent. He would wait for you to talk. So if you were unsavory or fan or somebody from the press he didn't want to talk to, it'd become Chinese laundry or Indian tape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get rid of you.
Yeah.
And so, and I'm just about to put it down. And he answered, click, click. So I picked it up, silence. So I said, thank you very much for the Nikon camera. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very, very much. Thank you very much for the Nikon camera. Thank you. Oh, you got it. Oh, you're fucking joking. It's fantastic. Oh, we've all got one down here. Great cameras. Yeah. Oh, okay, great. Ta-ra, ta-ra. Thanks again. Thanks very much. Bye. That's an interesting song.
And that's where it came from.
Right.
That's
That's lovely. That's lovely.
That's how you write songs.
Yeah.
So what
So
about the
you know
Grimms? Oh, go on, Dave.
Go on. I was going to say Scaffold. I mean, you haven't thought about reforming or anything to do anything?
Oh, God. The
festivals or anything like that?
The world couldn't take scaffolding reform. They should be. I saw this wonderful program that was on telly. There's a local bloke, a Liverpool lad, found this old tape of Scaffold on the Talk of the Town. Scaffold live at the Talk of the Town. When the Talk of the Town was the biggest nightclub in Britain, had all Sammy Davis Jr., the Supremes, everybody in show business went on there. And so, will you come on? And we did it. We taped it. And there are these three lively wackawits in their white suits. I'll show you them in a second. How long are we for time? Oh, we've got a bit.
Yeah, fine, yeah.
So there we are in our familiar white Lily the Pink suits. It should have been pink, shouldn't it? And we do on that thing all the facets of Scaffold, the sketches. I do a little song on my own live, and it was quite good. I could actually sing in those days. So I sang, I think it was Yellow Book, etc. We did a sketch, a marvelous sketch, Chocolate Cloud. McGough did a poem, and I thought at the time, ooh, is this going to be a bit heavy? Because it was a heavy poem. It was about the IRA, the bombs they were setting off, and it was a very sad poem. And I just thought, how is this going to go down? Or will it be allowed to go out? And so he finished. Andy Roberts accompanied him on guitar and finished the poem. He got one of the biggest round of applause. And really, it's people, they don't think that people understand about poetry. People are thinking, oh no. One thing that was not allowed for the public to see was John Gorman did this wonderful priest sketch. It's called The Priest. Father John, it was called, Father John. And he did a little piece remembering his Christian brothers being brought up by the Christian brothers. All Scaffold, 3 coggers, but 2 of them were brought up by Christian brothers. Sorry, belted up by Christian. If you know anything about Christian brothers,
yeah. Dad
said, you're not going to those Catholic schools. There's too much religion, not enough education. That's why we ended up in the Innie. So, but the others were stalwart Catholics, Christian brothers, heavy mob. And so Gorman did this piss take of, am I allowed to say that on podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Did this piss take of Father John, is one of his old things. And he came on. And in the name of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, amen, starts into it. Immediately, because I'm watching from side of stage, there's a guy on the table in the front, or Talk of the Town, they're all tables. This guy gets up and I can see it's Billy Cotton Jr., the boss, Billy Cotton's son, wakey, wakey, da, 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 da. That's for the oldies out there. And so his son, Billy Cotton Jr.,
BBC.
got up, head of BBC television,
Yeah.
out the theatre to the OB, by the way, outside broadcast.
So broad.
Yeah.
For all those professionals out there. Went to the OB wagon and banged the door open and stop. And God is here. God, what do you want? God, stop that tape. Do not waste tape on this. Why? Because it will never be allowed to go out. And actually,
That's astonishing.
no. Oh no. Now, but you've got them all today. You have now absolutely, you will not believe I'm going to show you it. And that was the truth. He said, start again when he finishes this priest thing.
Yeah.
So stop there, don't waste tape. There's sure enough. And of course, in that wonderful show, Scaffold, the talk of that, if you can ever see it, please see it. It's got the very best of Scaffold at the prime. But this thing you weren't allowed to see was because of this, right? This is the actual letter from the Lord Chamberlain's office.
Oh, wow.
Okay. This is from him. This is from the Lord Chamberlain. There he is, signed.
To the scaffold.
Yeah.
Lord Chamberlain to the scaffold.
Is that telling you not to do something, or is that your permission to perform?
I can assure you not to do it. All signed legally. And we were appearing at the Janetta Cochrane Theatre, and our scripts had to be given to the Lord Chamberlain.
Lord Chamberlain first of all. Yes, of course.
So it's an agreement that you won't do that sketch.
No,
it's a script that you had to have agreed before you could perform.
Correct.
Basically.
And if he didn't like it, not the government, not a board of control that had one man, Lord Chamberlain, his name is, if he didn't like it, then you couldn't do it. That's why Billy took that.
Yeah.
And I'll show you why. One of the reasons here for the Janetta Cochrane here could be why Billy Cotton Jr. might have been a bit tricky. Oh God! There we go. Here it is. What sketch beginning? What does it profit a man? That's the beginning.
Right.
In the name of the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, Amen. What does it profit a man? There. Edit. Sketch beginning. Oh wow! There you go. I didn't even know it said that. Can you see that?
Noel Gay.
Omit.
Substitute submitted by Noel Gay artists.
No. This bit here, beginning. What does it profit a man? Omit entire sketch.
Oh right, yes.
Not even one line, not even two lines. You can understand one of the here. Omit in Lent. Omit going to the holy sacrament. Get that out. Omit that. Page 2, buggery. Get that out. 3, no poking. 4, Hyman, etc. You can see why he was like it. And in the American church sketch, I did a GI soldier.
Yeah.
With Martindale. Omit from when I see the Queen to chopping half of that out as well. Absolutely, that is an actual thing to the scaffold from the Lord Chamberlain.
That's a blast from the past.
That is astonishing.
Great, isn't it? This is lovely. When we went down to London, here is a thingy to, something inside you're going to like. This is to M. McGear, the scaffold, the establishment, Greek Street.
Oh, right. Peter Cook's place.
Yeah.
That was the club, wasn't it? Yeah.
We never played it. But inside, don't know why it was sent to the establishment, but inside is this wonderful card for McGear and Guest, right? Here.
Oh.
Guess who it's from?
I can see Dora Bryan's name at the bottom, can I?
Oh, well, bloody hell, well spotted.
Go on.
Very good. My God, you're quick, Mark. No, this is from Dr. Billy Graham.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously.
We could have got to that.
It's Dr. Billy Graham.
This is what he did, Billy Graham, and Cliff copied it. Billy thought, if I get all these personalities, pop people, etc., on my side, then they'll turn to God. Cliff had exactly the same idea. We met him up here several times. We come to a local church, and all these show business people, Scaffold, Adrian Henry, Arthur Dooley, who was a total atheist, would turn up because of free tea and coffee and things, and sarnies and cakes. That's why Arthur would be there. But here to see Dr. Billy's show, I think he was at Albert Hall or somewhere, and in inviting committee, Lord Rank, Cliff Richard, and Harry Seeker. I don't know what the hell it was taken to, censor the establishment. No idea.
Yeah.
Right, here we are. And to go back to Liverpool, I will just show you a quick one of, this is the original 1967, I think, Daily Express.
Yeah.
And all the people that were Scaffold, you can see them seated there.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And then at the back here is Sam Walsh, Maurice Cockrell, great painters. And at the end here is Adrian Henry.
Right.
There. They were the original. And it says, where a new flame burns. Okay, after the pop thing had gone out.
Yeah.
They're talking about finds fresh talent at work in the Beat City. So we went down to London after we'd done all our, trade, doing our work, learning our profession. We signed, and we were with this lovely lady who had Paul Robeson on her box, but we were going nowhere. And I said to Scaffold, would you, Brian Epstein asked me to be a pop star. And I said, no, I don't want to be a pop star. Kids, you've got one of them in our family. So, but Scaffold would be interested. He'd like to manage us. And so they said, okay, we'll have a go. And so we did. We joined Scaffold. That thing about the weirdos that I used to do. These are so weirdo pictures. This is the front of our Scaffold's first record by done. Here we are, Scaffold, 2 Days Monday and 3 Blind Jelly. The back here is so weirdos. Anybody that's seen the weirdos looking at that, that's the back of the Scaffold, Today's Monday. And we chose the producer, not because he produced my brother and his chums. He's a gentleman called George Martin. We chose him because he, in Forthlin Road, one of our favorite albums was called Songs for Swinging Sellers.
Absolutely.
Great record.
Produced by
George Martin.
Yeah, it's fabulous.
Masterpiece. One of my favorite records still.
That is the best of sellers. Brilliant.
Balham, Gateway
to the
Balham, Gateway to the South.
Is the honey still for tea?
Shadows. My favorite is Shadows on the Grass with Irene Handel and Peter Sellers, where just a work of genius. That is. I love those records.
They're brilliant records.
So that's why we went to George and did that thing. So then we are then in.
Great picture.
Very good.
Yeah.
But then doing concerts, etc.
Oh, I remember that visual. I really do.
Hold on, that picture, come to think of it. Isn't that
the Festival Hall 68
I think
shot? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think you did a live album from the Festival Hall.
I think you're right. I thought I had that, boys. Oh, I must have left it upstairs. Oh, isn't that weird? I thought I'd brought that down. No, it's upstairs. Sorry. I've got other albums to show you. But that is your little card, your handout card, Parlophone record.
Oh, absolutely, yes. So what records have you got then? Let's have a look at your records. That you were going to talk about.
Here we are. Here, I'll leave that one till the last.
Oh, well. Oh, God. Yeah, I haven't seen that from
the MC Escher cover.
Here is Scaffold.
Oh,
The cover, what's that? Scaffold, singles, A's and B's.
Right. That's a reissue.
Yeah.
Here we go. That picture was taken. Here we are. Well, come on, Mike. You see, I'm doing all one hand. I can't do one hand.
Yeah.
Here we go. Don't worry, Mike. Don't worry. They're all gone on the floor now. Is that the same one?
Same session.
It seems to be the same session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, there they are.
Right.
That is there. But guess who the picture was taken by?
Go on.
David Bailey.
Oh,
very
wonderful.
good.
Okay. And here is
The context.
Oh, that's lovely.
an actual David Bailey thingy sheet, contact
Sheet. Yeah.
Hey?
Very nice.
Nice.
Surprised you haven't got that framed.
Would have sent it me to McGear.
I'm surprised you didn't want it back, actually.
Yes.
No, I think it's to
Most photographers are very possessive about stuff.
Yes, oh God, Dave is very. In fact, when he sees this now, I'm going to get the heavies calling on the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, I asked him. That's why he sent me that one. That picture there. Where are you, Michael? Where are you? There. You see, that one I chose for my picture of Roger Bear. I did a children's book called Roger Bear.
Mm.
So that's why he sent me those.
Right.
Okay, here are more records.
Oh, right. Oh, fresh liver. Oh, God.
Mm.
That's Tim Rice. And this is Scaffold Freshly. The best bit, we were buggers. It's the vegetarian and vegan's nightmare album.
Yeah.
It is. Wouldn't
the
ship
idea-
many copies
The
now.
idea there was a day where if the
Yeah.
band said, "Oh no, it's going to have fresh liver on the cover," they'd go, "All right, fine."
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
and that's
no.
going to be the picture.
No, boys. What's better is you go inside and there's the blood
Yeah.
oozing through onto Liverpool. We didn't care.
That is so of the moment, isn't it? That's astonishing.
So you show us that one with the Escher staircase on there
Oh, yeah,
that you had a second ago, because I hadn't seen that for a long time.
By the way, you are going to like all this stuff, aren't you?
Oh, is that what
Oh,
went? Was that the white label?
Yeah.
All
Scaffold Fresh Liver.
Yep.
All right.
I knew you'd like that. Yeah, these are the originals. Sold out. Got, the thing is for sold out, but and then I did McGear.
All right.
Yep.
McGough and I did with all those Jimi Hendrix and Graham Nash, all those people on it. Then I had one with Mummy
Oh God, yes. That one.
and Danny
Another
Baker.
gorgeous picture.
I did the Danny Baker show when he was on radio too, and it was for the McGear album, and I'd done the chat the whole hour, whatever it was. And he says, "Oh, lovely." He said, "Tell you the truth, Mark, this is my favorite. I've been plugging the other bloody record." He said, "Tell you the truth, Mark, this is my favorite record," and brings this picture up of
Right.
Woman album. And I said, "Oh, great. That's always lovely seeing my mum." She says, "Sorry, what are you talking about, your mum?" I said, "That's my mum." "Your mother? That's your mother? I thought it was a nan." No, that's my mum in a nurse's costume."
Yeah.
I never knew that. My favourite album.
No, it's a lovely picture.
Never even knew it.
Yeah.
The McGear album, I think Derek Taylor appears. Am I right? Don't you hear his voice on at some point?
Degs can be on anything of mine.
Diggs.
Yeah. I seem to have lost the. That's weird, isn't it? Where's it gone, Mike? Keep looking. That one you want to see. It's good.
What are you looking for?
I was looking for the Escher one. I wanted to see that.
Oh yeah, it's lovely. It's a lovely sleeve. You showed it to us before.
Found it.
All right. Okay.
That's the back. That's the back.
Right. Right.
But this is the front.
Yes. God.
I
Okay.
really remember that.
And that's beautiful Escher drawing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first time I ever saw that picture, I think.
Oh, is it? Oh, was it? Yeah. Now, the lovely story behind this is Escher. We loved him. And so we heard this story later. Two people approached him for this image, for their albums. One was a group called the Rolling Stones, and the other group was a group called Scaffold. Apparently, Escher was not that enamored with the rock and roll Rolling Stones, sort of, you know.
That's one for the kids. That's one for the kids.
All right.
Anybody who was 15 in 1965 knows exactly what that means.
Yeah, perfect. We knew exactly who it was.
Just like that.
Yeah.
No,
All do that together, actually, Mark. Let's all do that together. Go on, Mark. Mark.
Well, all right.
No, it's not that, Mark. It's that. Thank you.
So guess who he gave the cover of Isn't That Beautiful?
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing.
Well, you're very fortunate. Very good.
So you won. Brilliant.
Elder P, that's called.
Yeah.
And there, talking about Elder P, is Lily the Pink, top of the chart.
There you go to prove it. So what was number 2 when you were at number 1?
There's the original.
The sheet music.
Can you remember the Top of the Pops night? Can you remember who else was on the show?
We knocked Hugo Montenegro.
Hugo Montenegro, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Was that what he was?
We knocked him off the top place.
Hugo Montenegro, that's right. Yeah.
Hugo Montenegro. Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's the original sheet music.
Brilliant.
The pink. And this is when we were on Top of the Pops. I think that's got to be.
Can you remember who else was on the same show?
Sorry?
Who else was on the same show? Can you remember?
Well, that was what was ridiculous about it is, coming from a theatrical background to suddenly finding yourself in the Top of the Pop studio. And these cameras used to go round 1,000,000 miles an hour, knocking the children over.
Yes, it did.
And that was what was funny, is us being a pure theatrical, but satirical comedy. The Lord Chamberlain banning us and etc. Finding ourselves. Drink a drink.
Yeah.
There over there are the Beatles. There's the Rolling Stones over there. There's Jimi Hendrix over there. Absolute magic. Loved it.
Well, look, Alex informs me he's running out of internet, so we're going to have to. Give
us your greatest record.
My greatest record.
Yeah, the best record.
Greatest record of all time.
My greatest record. I know. No, or album. That's right. That is an impossible question.
Well, obviously,
I love music, right? And so I am going to I've done it for you.
Correct.
I'm going to set a precedent on your program. What a surprise that is, Mike. And can I have, for my favorite record, may I have an album of my favorite songs?
All right, go on.
You go on.
That's all. So can you produce an album for me with High Heel Sneakers, Tommy Tucker, Your Feet's Too Big, Fat Swallow, Bye Bye Love, The Everleys, Peaches on Regalia, Zappa.
Hey,
nice. Yeah.
Reason to Believe, Tim Hardin. The government should listen to that one. Three Cool Cats, The Coasters. Hey Ya, The Outcasts. It's a Wonderful World, Black. One Time, Boom. 2 time, boom, boom. 3 time, boom, boom, boom. Toots of the Maytals. It's a Family Affair, Sly and the Family Stone. Pick Up the Pieces, AWB. Around the World, Daft Punk. The Man Who Found God on the Moon, Mike McGear. Summer in the City, Loving Spoonful. 18 with a Bullet, Pete Wingfield. Picture of You, Lotus Eaters. Satisfaction, Otis Redding. Coconut Grove by John Sebastian. And Mickey's Son and Daughter by the Bonzos, Dog Do Dog.
Terrific album. That's a lot of work you put into that. It's brilliant. Very good.
Very good.
Thanks so much, Mike. That's brilliant.
I think
Word in Your Attic, a Zoom with a View.